Uh, no, just in reviewing the game a little bit, I thought our guys played hard. I thought we played with good effort. We just made some mistakes that were too hard to overcome. Really, when it broke down the game, there were 180 plays in the game, and really the 9 plays cost us, and those 9 plays count, obviously, stuff. But they had 3 big plays, 3 explosive plays on offense against our defense, 2 long runs and the long pass. I thought our defense did some really good things when you look at it in the game. However, they got the ball 4 times in our territory and got 9 points out of them. So I thought we did some good things, but obviously the big plays hurt us. Offensively, 4 plays really cost us, the 3 interceptions and then the fumble snap at midfield, which is a turnover and stuff. So other than that, 525 yards, 27 first downs, 300 passing, 225 rushing. Like I said, obviously the 4 plays count, but take out 72 of the plays I had no problem with. I had a problem with the 4. And then special teams wise, I thought the 2 plays really hurt us. The block punt, obviously, and then the shank punt is really a turnover in my book because, we had a chance to flip the field and we didn't. So, all in all, I said I liked the way we competed. I thought we played hard. I just thought we shot ourselves in the foot. And unfortunately, those 9 plays of the 180 that we ran in the game, those 9 plays really hurt us a lot in that football game. But other than that, this is really since the first week. I think we had 2 penalties the other night. Penalties aren't hurting us. We've minimized that. We've had a lot less than our opponent in the 4 losses. This is really the first game that we've turned it over also and stuff, so we'll certainly have to fix that. But Texas State coming in, obviously big win over Ohio to start the season, and then beating Incarnate Word. They've lost 3 games, Arkansas in Houston, and then got beat last week by Georgia State. But I've been impressed with what they're doing offensively. I think when you look at them, tempo is something that we have to be concerned about. Multiple sets, formations and stuff we have to be concerned about, and be able to line up really everything. And they do stuff out of empty sets too, where they line up in 5 wides, or they motion the back out to create 5 wides. And then the other thing, just looking at them as a whole, they're very balanced. When you look at what they do, they have 6 guys that have between 16 and 20 catches, but nobody over 20 catches. But they have 6 guys, that have kind of spread the wealth there. Mayberry's the best runner. He's having a really good season. Plus, he's also got 20 catches out of the backfield. So we have to be concerned with. The other thing, too, is that Jones has ran the ball second the most times their quarterback has. Not only has he thrown for 1,400 yards, but he's also ran the ball 60 times in 5 games. So we got to be worried about him, and he can run the ball out of empty sets. So we better, we certainly gonna have to be conscious of that. Defensively, they base out of an odd front, which we have saw against Oklahoma, and Idaho played some odd front last week, so we've had a little preparation against true odd fronts and stuff. And so what they're doing is very, very similar to what Oklahoma did. They'll start an odd, and every now and then they'll shift and they'll stem the 4 down, but it's predominantly an odd front. They're going to attack more than Oklahoma did. They do blitz more than what they did, so we'll have to be conscious of all the multiple things they can do from their odd front. So I'm impressed with what they're doing. I think their kids play hard. They're very, very competitive. And I think they're very well coached in terms of what they're doing. I know a little bit about them. I've seen them a little bit. Their offense, stemming back to there were 2 years there where we were advanced scouting and thought that there was a chance we could play James Madison in the playoffs and stuff. So I've known Coach Withers a long time. Really good football coach, great pedigree. Played against him when he was a defensive coordinator in North Carolina back in one of those years. I was at McNeese, and of course he coached at Tennessee Titans and University of Texas and about everywhere else. But he's a really good football coach, and I think they're doing a great job. So it's going to be a tough task for us, but hopefully we'll bounce back. And tough loss, really, especially with a program that's trying to get back on track. That's those kind of games. We have to figure out a way to win those games. But like I told the players, all you can do is get yourself back in that position, play hard, do the things we need to do at practice. We had a great week of practice last week, and I was really excited. I know the players were too about playing at home and stuff, but some things didn't go our way, but we need the same kind of effort that we had and try to continue in these games, these Sun Belt games, get ourselves in position to win. That's all you can do. And then the next phase, obviously, is to figure out a way to win, which in 2 games we've come close both times, but we haven't did what we had to do, a play or two here to win the game. So anyway, that's the focus right now. Moving forward, glad to be back home again, and glad to give it another shot.
Coach, when you're facing a team like Texas State who has 6 receivers who can do some damage, and you're saying that you face a similar team in Oklahoma pretty much who do the same exact thing, knowing you face that Oklahoma squad who has that same receiving core base as Texas State does, do you feel like you're better prepared for this game?
Well, looking back, not trying to correct you or whatever, but they do what Oklahoma did defensively. Yeah, offensively, with Baker Mayfield, that's a whole different ball game. I'm saying that their defense is an odd defense like Oklahoma's was, and I don't know. Usually in the course of the year, I don't know. I haven't looked at Sun Belt teams, but you may play 2 true odd teams. Maybe 3 at the most. What we played and stuff. So I guess the point I was referencing is, we're a 4-down team. Most people's are some form of 4-down team. So we've already had to transition 1 week to an odd team. So I'm hoping that helps us, from an offensive standpoint, looking at their defense, because we've already kind of played against that. No, offensively, they're multiple formations. Like I said, they try to get you spread out, and the quarterback runs it. And then, in the passing game, I guess the point I was referencing, a lot like Idaho was last week, I referenced that too. There's not really a go-to guy, so to speak. They're kind of spread out, kind of like us. There's not really, watch out for this guy. He's going to get targeted 15, 20 times or whatever. I mean, everything's kind of spread out across the board, and they make you guard everybody, including their tailback. He's got 20 catches this year. Mayberry, is his name. But he's got 20 catches already this year too. So anyway, that's what I was alluding to. Their defense.
As defense, how do you stop guys like Texas State with all their receivers?
Well, I think what you have to do is what we were trying to do last week and gave up 3 big plays, but you try to make them drive the field, and you try to make them earn everything they get. And a lot what we did against Georgia Southern defensively, and the reason I thought we were pretty successful in that game is we didn't give up the big one, against them. I think the longest play they had was 27 yards in the Georgia Southern game. But what you try to do is make them drive the length of the field, because they're going to dink in, they're going to spread it around, and when they catch it, you tackle them, and then don't turn 5-yard receptions. Don't let that turn into a 20-yard gain. Do a good job of tackling in space and getting them down or whatever, and making them drive the ball.
Following a tough loss, what do you hope to see or expect to see from your team, whether it's immediately after the game or within a 48-hour period?
I expect them to get back to work, and expect them to get back in a routine and get back to work, and that was basically my message in the locker room after the game. There's nothing you can really do about it. You played hard. It didn't happen. Be safe tonight. Get back here tomorrow to treatment and get your weight work out, and hey, we'll get back to work at it. But that's really all you can do. And is put it behind you. And I was telling them in the locker room the other night after the game, all the coaches were a lot of football to play. You got to put that in the rearview mirror and forget about it. And it's a tough one now, a tough one to swallow. Because it felt like there were several chances there that, looked like we were kind of getting back control of the game, and then they'd hit us with a big one. We were kind of flipping field position, then we turn it over. One of them deals. It just seemed like, to me, we never could quite, get there, and stuff, and really get back control of the game. Even when we tied it up, both times we tied it up. They turned right back around and hit us with a big one. We tied the ball game up, and 2 plays later they hit however long the touchdown pass was. Okay, so now we're back fighting uphill. Then we tied it up. Second down, they hit a long run now we're back fighting uphill. It just seemed like we were fighting uphill the whole game. Even when we got back even with them, within a couple plays is when they hit the big plays and stuff. So frustrating.
Your job is to win games, not to put butts in the seat. But as a coach, how disappointing is it when you come out, beautiful day for football, and see a lackluster crowd?
Well, I'm new here. I mean, I really didn't know. I don't know what to expect and all that. But, hopefully it's homecoming. And I think we're playing good football. And, look, I say that. I know we have to win. I get it. I know that. But I think if you come out and watch us play, I mean, offensively we can do some different stuff and make some plays. I think we're getting closer to where we want to be defensively in terms of running and being physical and doing some things and stuff. So, hopefully we can win some of these games. But I do think we're playing good football. If you just want to come and say we came out on the other end of the game on the wrong end the other night, but it's a good football game. Georgia Southern was a good football game. We're right in there. We're battling. Kids are playing hard, and that's really, we have to figure out a way to win these. But that's what we're trying to get here is competing week in and week out. Playing disciplined football, playing hard, and doing those types of things, and which I think is the first step in what we're trying to get done here.
Coach, I think this is the second or third game this year in which Garrett Smith was the lead rusher center. He went with 88 yards for the entire team. Is that something you and your offensive staff kind of discuss and say like, hey, let's kind of get this run game going a little bit?
Well, I mean, in the Southern game and in the conference games, we've made it more of emphasis on the zone option. Those types of runs, there's a few runs. There's also just a couple straight quarterback runs that we've done in the past that we've kind of added to it as well. The other thing that we did the other night is we involved our receivers running a little bit. We had a couple big plays on reverses, and that helped us out and stuff. So it's going to continue to be a big part of what we're doing. I do think that I think the more you run the football, the quarterback, I think that affects them throwing. I do, always have, because, if you're going to run the quarterback 20 times by the third and fourth quarter, I've always thought it affected quarterback. I work with a defensive coordinator that's a head coach at McNeese, and, I mean, he felt that way. He let the quarterback run it, in the third and fourth quarter, and then watch his passing start to kind of go down. So what we're trying to do, what Coach Kubik's trying to do, and what we're trying to do is pick and choose when we're doing it. If you notice, there wasn't a lot of quarterback runs at Oklahoma or Auburn. I mean, it's not going to happen. Throughout the course of the year. I mean, and he's the toughest kid. He's as tough as I've been around, but you can only take so much and stuff. But the other night, what they were doing, we felt like that we could gain an advantage with the zone option and him running the ball a lot like he did against Georgia Southern, a lot like what we did against Southern and stuff. So, and if that's what we need to do to be successful, we'll do it. But I do think that you have to, kind of be careful a little bit because, and stuff because of what we are asking him to do in the passing game. It's different. I mean, if you look at like our McNeese team last year, we weren't asking the quarterback at McNeese to do what we're doing in the passing game. He was a runner. He was an athlete. He was 210 pounds, and this is what we're doing. A lot like, some of the teams you see with true running quarterbacks. But we're asking Garrett to be a drop-back pocket passer as well and to, and to spend a lot of time in the pocket. So I think you have to be careful with how many times you're just, you're running the ball. And straight runs. Now, zone option, that's different. If they tackle the dive, you run it. But, if that's a little bit different because sometimes you can actually get in some games and you're saying, and somebody's going to let you run the dive and they're not going to let him run, which that happens too and stuff. So I'm talking about just calling straight quarterback runs, stuff like we did the other night. I think we called 6 or 7 of them where he's the runner. There was no zone option involved and stuff. So. But and we'll continue to do that. One of the runs we did the other night, and we converted, we were 3 for 3, is a straight quarterback run, a straight quarterback sweep, which is a great short yardage play. Fantastic, because they're all boxed up in there, and you can wall them and get the quarterback on the outside. And like I said, we were 3 for 3 on 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 running. But, I just didn't choose. We didn't choose to do that, against the Auburn and Oklahoma and them, just kind of trying to pace him here.
This game coming up, obviously you mentioned the disappointment coming off the side of the game. And not that there wasn't before, but this one coming up with Texas State, this is the last of the 2-game home stretch. And obviously, it's a big home game and recruiting and all that. Is there a little bit more of a sense of urgency kind of going into this one as you try to get this thing turned around?
Not really. I mean, I treat them all the same. I thought there was a great sense of urgency last week. I mean, you looked at it, and like I said, there was by far our best practice last week. I thought we had really good practices. I mean, everything leading up with the routine was all really good and stuff. So I thought there was, go back as a coach and you go back and look at everything that happened throughout the course of the weekend. I'm not so sure that we were so urgent that we weren't tight when we started the game. Really tight, just because, I mean, these kids want to, they're working hard. I mean, they want to win, obviously. I mean, they want to have success. And you get back home and you've kind of put the opportunity games, the big boys kind of in your rearview mirror, and, and it just, I thought we were really tight to start the game and tighter than what I think we need to be. And that's something we're going to talk about, and stuff. And I do agree with you, it's a big game, but when you coach kids, you can't emphasize that. I just don't think you can. I mean, I think you have to say, hey, this is another week. You do what you got to do every day. Try to win every day. When it comes game time, hey, relax, fly around, have fun, because you can make them tight now. You can make them as tight as you want to make them.
Outside of that slow start, then, just the way you guys move the ball offensively in that game, I'm sure that probably gives you some confidence after a few rough offensive outings. But what can you kind of take from that as you go forward here in Sun Belt play?
I think we just got to continue to improve and, try to improve. And, I think that, I thought, even looking back at some of the games or whatever, in my mind, I don't think we've had like any just, lay an egg games. Thought we moved it at times pretty good against Auburn. Moved it as good as the last opponent last week that I was watching did. They had a hard time moving it too. I'm not going to mention names, but I did watch some of that on TV. They had a rough time moving it. And, but, so I think what helped us this week, Adam, to answer your question, is that we could run it too. And that's the problem, and I said that last week. Somebody asked me what, I think Nick White did, what was the key to victory. And I said, we have to run football. We can't just expect to sit back and we're just going to sit back and beat you throwing the football. Whatever. We have to have some balance. We have to take the pressure, limit what they can do blitz-wise and all that and stuff. So, I've pretty much in the games, whatever, I've been satisfied with the way we've thrown it. I haven't been satisfied with the way we've run the ball, really. And this last week it seemed like we were able to run the ball 76 snaps to 71 snaps. We had 76, they had 71. It's getting a little bit what we're doing, but what I was trying to tell the players, and you start getting into this, I mean, it's hard enough to beat a team like Auburn or Georgia Southern, but you can't let them have the ball 85, 88 plays. I don't care how good you are on defense, you're going to get exposed. You just have to limit that thing and try to limit to what they're doing. In order to do that, you have to be able to run the ball and take some pressure stuff. So, yeah, but I definitely agree with, I guess, your comment that it's been, I forgot the word you used, but it's been lackluster in terms of running the ball and stuff. But throwing the football, I think we've actually had some success really in every week doing that, but just not running the ball as well as we like. And our opponents have had a little bit to do with that.
Coach, the quarterback for Texas State, Tyler Jones, I see a little bit of Patrick Mahomes, the second of them, the guy from Texas Tech. As a defense, how do you make Jones uncomfortable on Saturday?
I'll tell you what I kind of think about. I'm not sure who you're talking about. I don't watch that much football stuff, so college football, unless I'm playing you, so I'm not even sure who that is. Who'd you say it was?
The quarterback at Texas Tech, Patrick Mahomes the second.
Yeah, I haven't seen Texas Tech, but this guy here, I would say, is similar to Garrett. When you look at him, he can throw from the pocket. He has a quick release. A lot of the RPO stuff he can get out of his hand. He's not a big-time vertical throwing guy, where he's just going to unleash it 70 yards or something like that. But then he's also an effective runner. And I'll, continue to say that, when you just watch Garrett's a better runner than what you think he is. This guy, I believe, is the same. He's a better runner than what you think he is. And just in terms of watching, the more film, the more tape I watch, the better and better he's starting to run the ball. I watched a few games, and he's a good runner. And then you start watching, dang, I mean, he's getting yards, and stuff, and he's hurting the opponent running the football. And I think the same thing with Garrett. Somebody was asking me, one of my friends was a week or two ago that saw the game on live stream or whatever. Well, how fast is he? Heck, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I don't think he's a track guy or anything, but when you look up at the end of the day, I mean, he's gained some yards, and stuff, and this guy's very similar, when he takes off running. And I'm saying that because, like I said, I love what Garrett's doing, but I wouldn't, go into the game and say, boy, I tell you what, that quarterback is a great runner. He's, watch out, I mean, he'll whatever, but then when you look up at the end of the game, that's a lot like this kid is. You look up at the end of the game, and he's got 60 or 70 yards rushing. I mean, he's hurt you running the football. And I think, so in that way, I think he's similar to Garrett.
Coach, I don't know if you saw this or not, speaking of rushing, Texas State, they're dead last in the country in terms of rushing.
Yeah.
And have you discussed that with your defense? And how do you convince your defense to, I guess, not let that get to their head, not let up, and then they rush for, 500 yards?
Yeah. I'm watching a lot of what happened really in the Ohio game. I've watched a lot of that. The problem they have, and I think they can run the football better, than if you just look at the 5-game numbers. But they had success running the football against Ohio, and they were ahead, and then dip and tuck the whole way. In Cornet Word, they got ahead. In the other 3 games, they got behind and stuff. And I think sometimes that's a little. I don't think our rushing numbers are deceiving. We just weren't running the football that well, because I can see it. But I think sometimes your rushing numbers can get a little bit deceiving, just like your passing numbers can. Wow, look at their passing numbers. I know, but they were, they just started chunking it at the end of the first half and threw it the whole second half because they were behind. And if you look at the games they were in, they were behind Houston at the half, big. They were behind big against Arkansas, and then they fell behind the other night against Georgia State stuff. So, you're not going to run the ball as effective. You're going to start throwing it almost every down because you're behind and stuff. And that's what they've done, and so I think they do have. Matter of fact, I think their offensive line's pretty good. So is their running back. So I think they have the ability to run the ball. But you'd have to go back and look at the Ohio game to kind of get a feel, I think, of what they can really do, because that game was close really all the way through when you look at it. So really in that game, more than any other game, they were ahead in the Incarnate Word game. So they were behind in the other 3. But I've watched that Ohio game a lot to kind of get a feel of what I think they want to do, the coaches want to do. And really the only way that you can do that, or in my opinion, are close competitive games. You can get a good feel of what they're trying to do. And so that's the best game to do it. Yeah. I'm really excited about that too, because it's not like they didn't pressure us. I mean, they were trying. They really broke tendency and had 9-10 corner fires, in the game where they brought actually 4 from the boundary, which is something they haven't done. We've seen it. Our defense does it in practice, so it's not like we haven't seen it. But they did. I mean, they pressured. They cross-dogged up the middle and bought both the linebackers and ran X stunts with them. They brought pressure from the field. They brought pressure from the boundary stuff. So I'm really excited about that. We were able to pick up different things, looking at it, and I think we've definitely improved there. And we're going to have to continue to do those types of things. But yeah, I was really excited when I didn't really remember in the game itself. I was trying to think that night, kind of laying in bed. I don't remember giving up a sack. And then when I saw the stats the next morning, I was really excited about that. And then the other reason too, and then after you watch the film and then you realize, well, it's not like they didn't try. It's not like they rushed 3 and dropped 8. They were coming to get us on most of the throwing downs, and we did a pretty good job, especially after the first 2 series. Because one of the interceptions, obviously he shouldn't have, all 3 of the interceptions weren't good, but one of them, I mean, he had a guy right in his face, or I don't think he'd have threw it and stuff. So that don't go down as a sack, but it was a forced mistake on the part of the defense too as well. So.